today, on Woma TV, I've got the legend himself, and this is the truth. It's Jimmy Johnstone. Jimmy's truly is. He's an inspiration. Not only he is a dear friend, and I love him. I think he's a great guy, but he's one of the most inspirational people. I'm going to make him blush now. He's one of the most inspirational men I know, because we're going to talk about a little bit about it, if it's all right with you. But just martial arts wise, we'll start there because it's always a great place. It's so boring, right? Martial arts. Where did you start?
Well, I started when I was a nipper. I started training with Malcolm Phipps and Tracy Phipps, Shotokan Karate, Seishinkai Shotokan Karate in Watford, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Back when Willie Thomas, Jeff Thompson and Dal Henry were all on the team.
Wayne Otto? Yeah. Wayne's a great guy,
Yeah, absolutely.
Wayne, if you're watching this, clear up your schedule. I went round and I plastered your house for you, and you said you'd be on this, right? Will, he promised, right? Now he's a great guy. There was some real,
Tough guys, man.
And yeah, point fighting wasn't point fighting in those days, eh?
No, it was tough. It was good. It was real. It was great.
Yeah, and how long did you stay with karate?
I stayed with karate 23 years on and off. There were periods of time where I didn't train, but overall I trained for 23 years.
And what grade did you get to in karate?
Second degree black belt.
Fair play. And do you still use any of the concepts or any of the ideas?
Yeah, I mean certainly the philosophies, hold very dear to me. But yeah, I play with the kids sometimes, but I don't teach anymore.
No. You see, I really like karate, but I think it's a means to an end. I think kata, to transmit a lot of information quickly, I get this, right? And then when you reduce it, and then you can say, oh wow, that looks really cool. But it was a boom, right? How many people were in your class when you used to train?
Oh goodness me, we had a full-size sports hall and you couldn't move shoulder to shoulder. It was just so busy.
Yeah, there was some awesome days back then. Right. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'm just going to touch on something. Jimmy's Jimmy's one of these guys that literally there's no bullshit about him. I don't mind, I'm going to divulge a little bit of a secret here. As Jimmy says sometimes, being his friend comes at a price, because he's a bit like me. He'll say what he actually thinks about somebody. So if you're his friend, then yeah, it's great because you know exactly where you stand. And the reason I'm saying that is to get that strength of character. You've done stuff before. I remember on Father's Day once on Facebook, you put something up, and if you don't mind me saying it, it was like you said it was the blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was unbelievable because it was so powerful. If you don't mind sharing and telling us just a little bit about it, because obviously, for those of you who don't know, Jimmy's an awesome family man, and I mean, trust me, it sounds really. Bill Cosby, if you hadn't been so naughty, I'd be able to say he was Cliff Huxtable on the Cosby Show. But no, not that happened, right? No, but the thing is, you really are a family man. Everything. Yeah, and it's not just obviously your children, who are awesome. Dex, Nathan Nightmare Johnson. Nathan did my first ever for the podcast. He did our first ever link, which was, you're listening to Mixed Martial Arts. I said, you want to say hello to anyone? He goes, hello, ladies. And that was it, yeah. But again, with the gym as well, it's an extended family, and I would never be too trite enough to say that that's like you're doing it all the right way because it's the wrong way. But there's got to be a grain of truth somewhere along there, because you know what it's like, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us, give us a little bit of an idea.
Well, I kind of remember the post vaguely, but like you said, my family mean everything to me. They're such a big. This morning, we got Phoenix Fight Night tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So this weekend, so I'm crazy busy. I'm running all over the place. And this morning, Bonnie said to me, she's 6, she's got ginger hair. She said, "Daddy, you'll be on time for my Christmas play today." And I'm like, I just started thinking, and I'll be on time, babe, don't you worry.
Yeah.
Man, I would never miss those sorts of things.
No, you can't.
But no, I didn't really have much of a childhood, really. I'm one of 9 children, and the home was broken, and my parents were in and out of prison, and we were in care, and we were out of care, and they didn't really consider us in anything that they did. And I'm well over it. I'm cool with it all. It's all put to bed. But like, man, you know, they both of them made some terrible errors that I'll never repeat.
No. Well, I remember you did mention that they've never seen any of your children.
No, never seen them. No.
And no loss, right?
No, crikey! Like my kids have got some amazing people in their lives, you know, and that's the way I want to keep it. So no, I'm more than comfortable with that.
No. So you left home, if you don't mind me saying.
No.
What time? How old were you?
12.
Fuck, man.
I was working full time by the age of 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Working as? What were you?
I was working as a storeman in a Asda freezer store.
How did you get a job at 13?
No, I was tall, you know, and I looked a little bit older than I did, and back then it was a little bit different, you know.
Yeah, a little bit faster.
If you worked hard and you keep your mouth shut and you keep your head down, you can get a job pretty easily. I worked hard. So.
Yeah, you've mentioned before, like, you know, this is what you know. It sounds really, you know, it sounds that cheesy when I say this, but Jimmy he's the epitome of what this alchemy of martial arts, and I think you would have done it if you'd have taken up course fishing, if you want to know the truth, because the sort of person you are. But you had this horrendous start, and then it was like, if you give an idea, where did you sleep?
For long periods of time, I would sleep in public toilets in the beach. I slept in undergrounds and stuff. So.
Yeah, I remember you saying once when you were 14, you used to have to fight off.
Yeah, it was bleak. It was bleak. You know, it was really bleak. But it made me really, really tough. You know, and a lot of that bluntness has come from from that upbringing.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like people don't really understand. It's like, my early life sounded like a bad soap opera. Bad country and western song, you know. And I've always said that, but I don't know about you. It sucked at the time, and it's easy because in hindsight I go, do you know what? I wouldn't change anything.
Do you know what? I think it sucked later because at the time it's just the norm. You know, if you don't know any different, from the minute it wasn't like we had this great home life and suddenly my parents got divorced and it all got hot. It was always like that. So for me, it was the norm, you know, and it wasn't until I actually had children of my own that I realised, you know what, this is. Why did I suffer this and my kids have got all this?
But you see, I don't know about you, but I look at it and I just can't work it out. I'm like, how do you even think? You know, when you look at it, you go, what thought processes made you ever think that was even acceptable? But again, it's the oldest one in the book, isn't it? It's like, abnormal behaviour done long enough is normal to you.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what it was.
It's crazy, isn't it? Exactly. It's unbelievable. So, we're going to skip that now, right? And we're going to go straight to, how did you get into Jiu Jitsu, man?
Oh man, Jiu Jitsu! I fell in love with Jiu Jitsu the first time I felt it. You know, I was working in London, and I rolled with a guy, a Brazilian kid called Nicky Busso, who was in the country working, and I thought I was pretty tough. You know, I've done some stuff and I've seen some stuff, and I've been doing martial arts for a long time. And like everybody else, I was completely and utterly powerless to do anything to stop the onslaught of this guy's pressure. And from that moment on, I'm like, I need this in my life.
Well, I don't know, you know, guys who are watching this, if you haven't done Jiu-Jitsu, you should do, because it's the greatest ego check in the world. It's like...
Everyone should do it, man.
Jiu-Jitsu is for everyone, but not everyone's for Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the killer. It's like, even now, I'm training with our dear friend tomorrow at Neil Zimkin, right? And I'm already scared for tomorrow night. Honestly, and I've said this before. Jimmy's been up there, he knows, you know, Jimmy's got a successful team as well. But it's like, you go up to Neil would give you the shirt off his back, you know. Jimmy and Neil put together this thing, you know, whenever this goes out, trust me, I think that there'll still be a little bit of blowback from the whole thing, right? But Jimmy and Neil put together the Kids Elite Squad, literally because for children it was floundering. Even in this country, for a team, there's no cohesion. It's literally, a team is a collection of a couple of individuals who got together with maybe a goal in mind. Whereas you and Neil got it together and you decided, right, what we're going to do is we're going to put our heart and soul into making this totally apolitical. And like everything in martial arts, you say it's going to be apolitical, it fucking went political, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, what was the first thing that got you thinking about this?
Well, you know, my kids are pretty good, Neil's kids are pretty good, and you know, the problem with a lot of teams is, and it's the same with ours, you know, you get one or two good quality, good level kids, and a lot of okay kids, and your kids are too small for the adult class, but they're just way too good to be in the kids class. What do you do with them? Where do you take them? You know, so we talked about this for a little while, and we said, you know what, let's just start. I'll bring my kids up to you. you bring your kids down to me, we'll invite a few more kids, and if there's half a dozen of us, great. Our kids get a good training session in, get a good workout, we can share techniques between the two teams, and we'll open it to anyone. And I think the first session came around and we organised it quite quickly. We've been talking about it for a few years, but we actually, when we decided to do it, we put it out there, and I think a month later we had our first session, and I think there was 40 kids, and it's grown to the point of where there's around 90 kids per session.
That's crazy.
And these are kids where, like, 2 kids from one academy, 3 kids from another academy, where they're the best kids in the academy, who are in exactly the same position, where they're too good for the kids team, but too small for the adult team.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing. It's like, and without going too much into it, I don't really want to go into it because I'm the guy who has to deal with Neil Simpkin kicking my ass about it. But I already could see it coming, you know, and literally it was like, certain guys just couldn't see that there was altruistic means. They thought there was either money involved or maybe some nepotism. And like, the thing is, I know this, that the hardest spots to get on that team would be your children and Neil's kids, right? And that's just because I know these guys. And you took how many guys over to the Pan Ams?
Last year we took 20 kids.
And how many medals?
19 medals. It's pretty good. It's pretty successful.
First time out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like, where do you see the? Because I have my own thoughts about jiu-jitsu in the UK. At the moment, people think they're doing well because we're still catering to this demographic of the 16 to 34-year-old male. It's getting older now. Guys are aging into it now, yeah. And everyone's going, we're doing really good. I can buy a new car every year, and you're like, when normal people find out how cool this is, because you can do this as hard or as soft as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? We haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh, mate, people, it's still a little bit underground, right? Because like when you talk to people, if you spoke to 50 people, and you said that you did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I guarantee you 45 people would not know what you were talking about.
I always have to say it's a bit like judo, and then they go, do you have to get waxed for it? Which is I say.
Or they start making karate gestures with their hands.
We're coming up to Christmas now, so I've got to look forward to a couple of bottles of high karate. How many bottles have you had at Christmas?
You know what? Last Christmas, one of my wife's aunties bought me the WWE box set for Christmas because she thought that's what I did.
Really?
Yeah, even in the family, they don't know what I do.
Oh, that is brutal. The last time I rolled with Jimmy, he taught me some like amazingly cool stuff, but he hit some Gracie with me. So basically, we rolled, and you didn't use it. You didn't use your hands at all.
Arms were tired, mate.
Yeah, I was working 100%, and I wasn't getting anywhere. But you, top level competitor, you were going to fight MMA until. He's named and shamed anyway.
He's named and shamed.
Yeah, you go on Facebook, you'll see him. The guys make you famous one way or another, right? But you were going to have an MMA fight. But a list of your accolades, if you don't mind, just in jiu-jitsu.
Well, I competed a lot in America. You know, I've done quite well. I've won. I got the silver in NAGA World Championships. I got the gold in the absolute Atlanta.
Wow.
Which was great. I mean, that was great for me because I had some really tough fights and. Fought a 288-pound black belt in the final, so for me that was probably the most satisfying. One of the most satisfying things was before I went onto the mat, I said to my student, get the camera ready. When I get my hand raised, I want a photo. He said, "What do you mean? You think you're going to beat this guy?" And so I was really pleased to get.
You were ready to go, right?
I was ready to go, man. So
and you got any more plans of competing?
I want to compete heavily next year. Like there's something which I'll tell you about off camera. I can't tell you on camera.
No worries.
It's not been announced yet, but then I'm going to do the Europeans in January and just I'm going to compete as much as I can. I suffered like last few years. I've had a few surgeries, both my knees, both my shoulders. But I'm feeling great again now. So looking forward to next year. We're going to have a big year.
Jimmy's an awesome motivator. It was at the Nottingham Open. I think it was not last year, year before. And I got that absolute behemoth. What's his name? I'm going to have to apologise. We'll have to stick it in later. But he's been a blue belt for like ever, and went up against him, and you came off the mat, and I was gutted, and he beat me. I have this thing where up to about 4.5 minutes I'm great, and then if I don't beat you, you will beat me. First fight, third fight. It's always that last 30 seconds I get screwed, and came off the mat, and Jimmy was like, he threw his arm around me, and he said, "If you hadn't have gassed, I think you would have done it." And I was like, next I was out running. Jimmy's words were echoing in my ears, and that that speaks testament as a coach, because you've got some awesome guys coming through from Phoenix. Yeah. Tell us about this show, man. How big are your shows now?
They're growing quite well. I mean, this is our 28th show now. We've got guys from the American top team, Black Zillions, both in big fights tomorrow. Jake Boswick, we've got
Jake Boswick, all right.
Alex Hendon's fighting tomorrow night. We've got 11 internationals from 9 different countries fighting on Phoenix fighting tomorrow. So it's grown into something much bigger than I thought.
And is that the O2?
The O2. We sell it out every time.
Yeah. How many people?
1,800.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is a crazy amount of people. And famously, you had Paul Daly after he'd been, and he's a perfect gentleman, right?
It was great, man. It was really nice to work with Paul, because he's a real professional, and he acted like a professional. Any press you wanted him to do, there was never an issue. He was there. It was really nice to do with him.
Yeah, he's good.
Because you get guys, they want flowers in their room, and they want.
Really?
Oh, mate, honestly, you wouldn't believe it. But
who would you like to put up? Is there anybody you like to put on the show that you can talk about?
Mate, the list is endless. So many, but I always try to improve on the last show, and when I start getting my teeth into it, it completely consumes me for 3 months. So I've got another 48 hours of it, and then once that's done, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the shows. First starting next year, because I've got loads and loads of other stuff I've got to get my teeth into, and then I'll come back in the summer. A big holiday in the summer, then we'll do another one. But yeah, so many guys.
Well, I'm going to have to do it, because Jimmy mentioned WWE earlier, right? You ever thought about doing the old Vince McMahon, and fighting on your own show?
I fought on Super 15, right? Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
So that was good, but it's tiring, mate. It's like. By the end of the night, you can barely stand. So
who did you fight? No.
I fought a guy called Neto Nunes.
Yes, you did that.
Yeah.
UFC 4 was it, or 3? Did he fought in one of the UFCs? Didn't he?
Didn't. No.
Who was that was on the UFC?
Remco.
Remco, yeah. You see these guys. Too many vowels, you see. Remco's
the man, mate. Remco's the man. I love Remco.
Yeah. Costello fought him, didn't he?
Remco fought Hoyce, right, in the final of the UFC 2.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Costello. Yeah, Costello. Andy Costello fought him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I don't think it.
It was a judo battle, really, and Remco took it to the floor, and I think he finished down with a cross collar, but it was good.
Yeah, and
I love Remco. Remco's the man.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yeah, now. I'd be remiss without saying it, right? You've got Fernando Terrera up there, and then you've got the man himself. We talked about him before, Michael, right? Tell us a little bit about this guy.
Well, you know what? There's not many people that I know that I can't say anything but amazing stuff about. Michael's one of those guys.
We talked about this before.
Michael's throughout your entire martial arts journey, and you like me have done martial arts for many years. You come across professors and senseis, and you paint them to be some spiritual guru, and then a few cracks start to open up and you get all disheartened and stuff. There's no cracks in my gut, mate. He lives the martial arts lifestyle. He's humble, he's honest, he's open, he's a fantastic teacher. You just know, you see him in here with his family. He's got a great family.
Good-hearted man, you see.
He's a fantastic, and mate, in his martial arts, his technique's flawless, bro.
Yeah.
He's 72 kilos and he just can't do anything with him.
Crazy. I remember we talked about it once. We were on about, it was like the same effect I have with, the same thing with Terry Barnett. And it literally, it's not even the martial arts. Even though the martial arts is the thing that got me there, it's now you just go, it sounds really corny when I say it. But if I ever have a moment where I have to go to myself, is that the right thing or the wrong thing to do? I literally I go and put myself in Terry Barnett's shoes for a minute and go, what, would he have done that? And I go, no. And it sounds really cliched, but you know what? I'm 47 in January, and trust me, I believed in Mr. Miyagi shit. You know what I mean? As much as I came to you for the training, I came to wash your car as well. You know? I tell you what, that was child labour, wasn't it? That's what got me into martial arts. Now, this is the thing, this is one of Ant's favourites, right? No, it was. Mr. Miyagi got me into martial arts. We've got this on camera before, I think, but we'll do it again. Screw it, it's always good. Right? Everyone says it's Bruce Lee or it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. No way. It was Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi got Daniel LaRusso laid.
He did.
And he was making burgers at Happy Days for the Fonz, and then the next thing you know, he's teaching karate. Yeah. You know, what was the movie that got you into martial arts?
Mate, it was probably that movie.
Was it?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, Elizabeth Shue, I'll tell you something. Yeah, she also got me into drinking into Las Vegas, but that was a different story, right? That was it, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right. Is that your favourite martial arts movie?
Probably Enter the Dragon.
Yeah?
Enter the Dragon, mate, yeah, it's the one.
What's your favourite line in it?
Oh mate, I can't think. You know, last night me and Michael were doing all the lines from that movie just last night.
What have we said, Ant McGinley? Well, you normally, what you'll do is you get two martial artists, you sit them down, you start talking, and then the next thing you'll be doing is, bullshit, Mr. Handman. Or,
yeah, that was one of the lines that came up last night.
Man, you're like something out of a comic book. I'm too busy looking good. My favourite out of Enter the Dragon is, oh, Hada's treachery has disgraced us. I've spent a lot. Did you get that one? Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah.
Can you do that, Jimmy? Show me.
No, mate, I can't do it.
Oh man, this is no good. I'm having to carry this show now. This is killing me. This is killing me. So, future. What
Terry
you got
Barnett,
plans?
right? I did a seminar with Terry, like I think it was like 2008, and I'd seen him do jiu-jitsu, but I'd never seen him do his, his JKD, right?
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, oh, he looks a bit fierce, and now he's doing his JKD. He didn't look so fierce in a gi.
Yeah.
And he walked up to one guy and he said, "You can call me Tel, you can call me Terry, you can call me Terence, you can call me Mr. Barnett, but don't call me mate." Well, man, he's a scary dude right there. Yeah.
Terry's the one thing that I got from Terry was, if anyone ever asks, it says, what do I call you? Do I call you guru? Do I call you sensei, coach? I said, just call me Mick. That'll do. Terry is something else. We were actually on about this on the way in. I'll show you the story. You'll like this. It's a good one. A couple of years ago, we're down here, by the way, because Jimmy and Phil Norman have got Eric Paulson later on. And I've just driven down with Eric and we just said, Eric's awesome, we'll get him, hopefully he's turning up soon. But he was telling me, he said, Terry Barnett's got a bit of a temper. And I was like, really? And I said, why? And he said, well, we're at the gym, and we're at the Inner Santo Academy, and all the guys have come over, and Phil Norman's just knocked out Tony Summers with a head kick, right? So everyone's saying, Phil's on fire at the moment, and what he's going to do is kind of fake low and then go high and knock you out. And they were sparring, and you know what Eric's like? Eric's like the most, I hope he doesn't come and catch me saying this, Eric's like the scariest man-child you'll ever meet. I've spent for 3 hours where he was trying to fondle me, pretend that he's grabbing the gear stick, oh sorry, what's going on? Or walk past you and slaps you on the bum, the guy's hilarious. But he's like this man-child that can kill people, you know what I mean? He's just hilarious. And he said, they started sparring, went with Phil, boom. Went with Rick Young, guess, war. And he goes up against Terry and he thinks, okay, Terry's such a lovely guy, puts a shot on Terry. He says, you just see Terry's face go like boom, and he hits him with a 5-punch combination. And Eric went, shit, I knew Terry Barnett was fast, but I didn't know he was that fast. But it's like, Terry's a great example of, that's the guy, he's like that, he is that quiet storm.
I always think Michael and Terry are cut from the same cloth, he's one of those guys, also no one can ever say anything but great stuff about him.
He's one of those guys, it's like, and that's what martial arts really, that's what brings us to it in the whole thing. So what's your future plans?
God, mate, all day. I've got so many things going on. I'm going to work in the gym in the Bournemouth gym for a while because we're doing a lot of construction in the gym to modernise it. But I've just we're doing like a cage and ring hire company, which we've just set up. So we're going to start doing that. We're opening a new gym in Marbella in February. So I'm going to spend a bit of time in Spain.
So that'll be 5 gyms here and 1 in Marbella.
Yes, that's right. Keeps us busy, man.
That's a business guru there. That's the guy you need to speak to. Trust me. Don't be listening to some guy with a toupee from America who'll tell you how to run a gym, yeah? Do you remember those adverts back in the magazines?
Yeah, mate,
You look at the guy and you'll be like that. You look like a fucking bank manager. What are you going to teach me about martial arts? And that's the plan. Marbella?
Yeah, then I think I'm going to take a bit of time out. And we're going away for 4 weeks to America with the kids in the summer. So we're going to take a nice long holiday in the summer, then back to it after the summer.
That's 5 kids?
Yeah.
Shh, man, I tell you what, guys doing something right. Where are you going to go?
We're going to Florida. We're going to go do the Disney thing. We're going to go to Disney Island and the cruise and the whole thing with the kids.
And no jiu-jitsu?
Oh, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu every day. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah, there'll be places to train. Don't worry, I'm taking a gig. can't go and not train.
No.
I'm like you. I mean, I'm like you. Wherever I go, there's always a gi in the car, and I'll love to roll with you guys all the time.
Two or three. I had to actually. This is the first time since I bought my car that I don't have a gi with me.
I've got a spare one.
I had to get 4. Hey, now we're talking. I had to take 4 out this morning. Right. I got one from the BJJ shop. Keith Hipkiss, thanks for looking after me. Another one from Lucky Gi. Scotty Nelson, thanks for looking after me. I'm a ponce, basically. Yeah, if you guys want to give me free shit, I'll give you a shout. But that's it. We're going to wrap now. Jimmy Johnstone, you are a gentleman, my friend. Thank you very much.